So you can see here I have completed the grid, right? And then I am going to be adding those petal shapes. Like this, and completed by adding this half aura to one of the sides of the petal, right? Again the same exercise. Draw these petal shapes and complete by adding this half auras. Again the petal shapes. If you can see carefully, which side am I adding aura? The side which is emanating from the orb, right? That is the side I am adding that aura, and not to the side that I have added afterwards. That's a catch point, right? I am not adding an aura to this side which I just added. I am adding it to the original side, which was a part of the grid, right? Like this. So I am going to do this exercise for all. So now that we have completed drawing those flowers, you can see that these sections have been created in between these flowers, right? This. So what we can do is add another layer of something like wells inside it, right? So I am going to add another layer of the same grid inside these sections that have been created by drawing the pattern wells. Again going in the clockwise direction. Not changing my direction. Right? So going to add this to all the sections, right? So the gaps that have been created after drawing wells, I am going to be adding another layer of wells inside it, but not with petals, probably with simple aura lines, right? So let me complete this exercise and get back. So this is how the grid looks after adding one more wells grid inside the original grid, right? So the second one that I have added, I am not going to add petals to it, but I am going to aura the lines just the way I showed you, right? Like this. So I am just going to pick up one section, then aura, right? Something like this. Right? So I am not adding the petal shapes to this grid which I have drawn within the original wells grid. I am just going to aura it. Right? So I am going to be doing this exercise all over. So this is how the tile look after I added this fragment inside each of the sections, right? Now the second tile, we had left it in between. So I have already colored the small portion that was left after drawing the second pair of second wells, right? So I have done it for 3 of the sections and I am doing it for the last one now, right? Just filling it in these sections that are left behind. You can also add some tipple there, entirely up to you. Add some other pattern, add some orbs, add another layer of wells since it is a triangle, but I am simply filling it in. Right? Simple lines, auras. I have given you 2-3 options how you can deal with the space that is created in between the consecutive wells. This is also an example of how we use the space created between the wells, right? So we are done with inking. Now let us move to shading our tile, right? So what I'm going to do is, in this one, it is pretty simple, I think. Going to add some graphite at the beginning and the end since they are overlaps. Some graphite here, some graphite here, some graphite here, some graphite here. Right? Right. And then some here inside the coffered lines that we have drawn. Right, and then I'm going to start blending, right? So just with a gentle hand bring it towards the center, from both the sides, right? A little dark at the beginning since I am going under, right? You can re-emphasize the initial add some more graphite there from where it is starting to give the impression of going under, right? Again the same exercise. Taking towards the center, blending the graphite well. A little darker at the beginning. Like this, right? And then for the same thing for the coffered loop also. Bringing the graphite towards the center but not covering the center completely, leaving a highlight, right? By now I think we understand this pretty well, the effect of leaving a highlight, right? Looks like shine or a shimmer. So this is a very simple tile with wells in focus, not much tangulation, simple pattern the way it is originally. right? And then some graphite just close to this additional aura that we have added, right? Not much blending, just to give the impression that it is a fold in the petal, right? Not much blending, just to give an impression of fold in the petal. And just blend it. Just blending it in one direction, not covering the entire petal. Just taking it to one side, if you can see. Right? And the last one. Right? So this is the simple pattern, wells. Again, time for little embellishment. If you want, you can add some dots to this black portion, since they are substantial, right? Jelly roll takes little time to dry up, so don't put your hand immediately. Just small dots. Maria's favorite. I like them too, especially on black. Right? I'm using my jelly roll. You can use 08, 010 just to put some small dots. Right? So that's wells. Now let us move on to our second tile. What I am going to do is shade my wells just the way I shaded in the other one at these points, and then shade this section as a whole. Like this, right? So let us first add some graphite inside this section, in all the sections. You can also shade this section on the lines, overlaps, right? That is another way to shade those sections on overlaps. So I am adding graphite inside like this. Okay. Thin line just on the corners so that I don't make the entire section gray. Just a thin line. Right, I'll do that and get back. So I have added graphite in all the sections. Now we start blending. So I am going to just blend the way I have for bales first. Just put some graphite at the place from where the turn is happening, right? Just a light hand. I don't want the entire petal to go gray, right? Again. gentle hand. Right, and then the inner section. As I told you, you can shade on the overlaps also, or you can shade the section as a whole, entirely up to you. So I'm just going to shade the section as a whole. I've not added graphite here, I think. Yeah. Right, so going to shade the section as a whole with a very gentle hand, just blending the graphite without turning the center gray. Right, just keeping to the corners. So just make sure that you don't blend too much, and the graphite is a thin line, so that the center white is highlighted. So I think I have not put here. Yeah. Right. So that's the look of the pattern after blending. So I'm now going to initial my tiles. Right, sign and date them. Right, so take a moment to appreciate your tile. We'll learn some more about wells, right? More tangulations, what is well, what is well going crazy. Yeah, so goodbye, have a good time, and we'll meet again in part 3 of wells.